The following podcast contains spoilers for Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. You have been warned! Welcome back, everybody, to Keystone Film Review for this special bonus episode where Glenn and I talk about Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. I am, as always, Miguel Magusto with my good friend Glenjamin Button. Glenn, how are you?
I'm good, Miguel Magusto. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. We kind of did a test run here when I still don't feel comfortable doing the intro.
Yeah.
But I think I did all right.
I think you did all right.
But so we just wanted to do a little bonus episode, pretty short, 10-15 minutes long, talking about the newest Star Wars movie, Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, because it has been getting pretty mixed reviews, I believe.
Very mixed reviews.
Last time I checked, actually just a few minutes ago, on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 57%. And you said, what was the 6 point?
Yeah, my IMDb, it's got a 6.9, kinky,
6.
but here we go.
But yeah, it's safe to say that there's no pleasing Star Wars fans.
Not at all.
And that's not to say that this is a good movie, but they can't be pleased. They didn't like Force Awakens because it was too similar to Star Wars. They didn't like The Last Jedi because it's too different from Star Wars. And then we have this one that kind of meets them halfway, and they still don't like it.
There's no pleasing them. There's
not
no
a chance. Pleasing them. And it's whatever. It is what it is. They don't have to like it. But my friend Peter Oberth said it pretty well when he said, after 42 years, no one is going to be satisfied. Because what you have in your head is always going to be better than what is physically possible for someone else to do. No one's going to be able to match your expectations. So
there's not a chance. Not a chance in the world.
Yeah, but I just wanted to talk to you because I know we talked about it briefly. I was a little bit more vague with what I thought of the movie.
I was like, Mike, tell me. Please. Tell me how you felt about it.
I just wanted to talk to you about it. So I want to get your thoughts on it. I know you weren't a fan of this one.
I really wasn't a fan of it, and like a lot of my buddies are huge Star Wars fans of it, and it's really hard to talk to them and be like, hey, this movie sucked, like in my personal opinion. They're like, I did like it though, so, and I'm just like, but why? It's like, well, this thing was cool and that thing was cool. I was like, but was it though? I don't know. A lot of my friends really enjoyed it, at least I feel like I've lately been a lot harsher on things than I usually am.
I feel slightly responsible for that.
But I mean, I didn't enjoy it. I know it had moments where I really liked it. But overall, I feel like they could have done better. With the Star Wars, at least the Skywalker saga, they've been playing it very, very safe, and I kind of hate things that play it too safe.
And then when they didn't play it safe like they did with Last Jedi, even Last Jedi had its moments of safety.
Yeah.
But they went the complete opposite way with it, to where I do agree with Star Wars fans that it was a little too different. I respected it more than I respect this most recent one for actually trying to be different. Whereas Rise of Skywalker was just super safe. We already said that there's going to be spoilers, so if you're still listening to this and you don't want to hear any spoilers, turn off the podcast now. Just trying to save you.
Yep.
One of my biggest problems with it, I was on board for the most part. I really like Kylo Ren's arc of, rejecting the dark side and kind of accepting that his name is in fact Ben and not Kylo Ren. I thought it could have been a little bit more powerful, but it is what it is. Kylo Ren's character has always been my favorite in the series.
Mine too, and I was really hoping that this would happen. Just I feel like the execution of it just went terribly wrong.
Yeah, and I think part of that is I don't know if you noticed, but it was obviously not Harrison Ford. It was someone who had Harrison Ford's face put on him.
Really? I didn't notice because I'm not gonna lie, I was falling asleep a little bit during my movie.
I could be wrong. It could have been just de-aging, but there's definitely something distracting about his face.
I think it was his hair was definitely longer.
Yeah, it was whatever it was just distracting.
Yeah.
And it didn't really feel like Han Solo in a way. It didn't feel like how he would have dealt with the situation.
Yeah.
Which makes me think that Harrison Ford wasn't there. But again, it is what it is. If Harrison Ford doesn't want to come back, he does not have to come back. But they still have like the rights to the character and everything. But
it's got him uncredited.
Uncredited?
Yeah.
Okay. And maybe they do that just to avoid spoilers.
Maybe.
But that was probably one of the more powerful moments of the entire thing. And like you said, it still fell flat. But there is another moment where you think Rey is going to die, and like she actually does die and stays dead for much longer than like any other action movie where she's just laying there, her eyes open. And they actually do a good job of making you think, oh man, they're actually going to kill one of the main characters.
Yeah.
Because like I was telling you earlier, Luke, Han, Leia, they're no longer the main characters of this story. It's Finn, Poe, Rey, and Kylo Ren. They're the new main characters of this trilogy. And so when the older characters died off, it wasn't really like, other than Han Solo, it wasn't really impactful.
And that's and that scene in Force Awakens is like kind of like the pinnacle of the new trilogy for me, because like they risked something huge there.
Yeah,
and it was great for Kylo Ren's character, and then they kind of just went back to playing it too safe, and then he just became weird. And I just dipped off a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, but when they held on her face, I was like, oh, great, they're taking a risk. They're going to kill off one of the main characters. And it's not that I don't like characters, and I know it sounds like it, but the thing that when you kill off a character, it changes the dynamic. And dynamic changes are what keeps trilogies interesting, or series interesting, or what have you. But when it's when you have them come back to life, it keeps the dynamic the same.
It's just
like it takes away all the emotion you had in that moment. It's like, oh, you did that again.
It's
cool.
Just
I
not
guess.
intriguing, because Marvel does the same thing.
Yeah,
it's not that good storytelling, and it's the same with like for me. This is all my opinion. Will always be my opinion. Cloning is lazy storytelling as well.
Cloning and time travel are lazy.
And time travel.
Lazy. And they did cloning with this kind of with Emperor Palpatine being cloned essentially.
Oh, Palpatine. It's another thing.
Yeah.
It's another thing.
But like I was telling you this earlier. I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but the sacrifice is always way more interesting than the resurrection.
It is.
And like, I'm not talking about Jesus, but you can use that for Jesus too.
We're talking about Jesus now, Mike.
We're talking about Jesus now. Like him being crucified is much more interesting than him being resurrected, which I know is the whole basis of Christianity. I'm not saying that you shouldn't believe that, but the crucifixion is and always will be more interesting than the resurrection.
Yeah.
And the same with sacrifices in movies. It's way more interesting because someone gave up their life for what they believe in, and it's going to change things forever. But if they come back to life, does it really change things forever? No.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
The sacrifice they made was kind of pointless. And then in this movie specifically, it just somebody else died.
Yeah, with Kylo Ren sacrificing himself for Rey, yes, it completed his character arc, but also you took away the interesting ways that you could have explored him making up for his crimes, you know?
Yeah, in fact, Kylo turning to the good side is exactly what I wanted out of this the trilogy.
Same here.
But the way they executed it, or him, technically, is not the way I mean, I'm not a screenwriter. I'm not going to sit here and be on my high horse, but they could have done better. They absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
could.
you're an audience member.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying screenwriting's easy. I mean, I write screenplays all the time, and it's not easy. It's very hard. It's very hard to keep a story interesting, especially. And I know, like, it's more so the studios probably than the screenwriters, because I'm sure the screenwriters would love to kill off characters.
Yeah.
Because it makes things interesting. But the studios probably tell them no. And it's just part of the business. I understand that, but it really... And it's not just Star Wars either that suffers from that. We talked about Marvel. Even DC, which is more likely to kill off characters than Marvel is, still suffers from that.
And look at Superman.
Superman. And then you have the opposite way with like Game of Thrones, where if everyone dies, then it's not interesting when everyone can die. So I guess I'm just sounding like a Star Wars fan, where I'll never be happy about people dying.
Well, if you're a fan of something, you're just probably never going to be happy to begin with. But
yeah, so I like to go into things with little to no expectation and just kind of go along with the ride and then just take it for what it is.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the Rise of Skywalker. It's not life changing. It's not game changing. It's not going to change anything.
yeah,
But I enjoyed watching it. But I can also see why people wouldn't.
yeah. I mean, this movie had moments for me, but from personally my standpoint, I'll probably never watch this movie again. I might watch it one more
I probably
time.
won't either.
But this trilogy, it just wasn't that good. This movie particularly, the moments that I'm talking about is like the Force connection between Kylo and Rey was probably my favorite thing between them two, and that was
pretty interesting.
And it was cool in The Last Jedi as well, and it could have been cool if they explored that a little more. But I mean, they did a lot of it in this movie. But and also the other thing was just like the lightsaber and Force battles that they were having as well.
Yeah.
But other than that, I couldn't really get on board.
Yeah, it's just kind of a flat movie. Like it's entertaining. Like you said, I'll probably never watch it. The only way I can see myself rewatching it is if by some chance I have kids and want to show Star Wars to them.
Yeah.
I feel like there's plenty of other movies that I would show before Star Wars to them.
Yeah.
But Star Wars are at least family friendly, despite what even the angriest Star Wars fans might say. Star Wars was always a kids movie. And that's not to say they're bad. They're good kids movies, but they're kids movies.
They're good for when you're young and your imagination's exploring.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, take it for what it is.
Yep.
With that being said, I feel like you kind of said this too, where Disney kind of just needs to re-energize Star Wars in a way.
Yeah, the thing I said was that they've got this property now, Star Wars, and instead of playing it safe like they've been doing with this trilogy, at least they need to get away from the Skywalker saga. This needs to be the end of the characters that are from the saga. We need new characters, we need new battles, we need new visuals and stuff like that. Explore the Force more, explore the Old Republic, or explore whatever you want. Just give us something new.
Yeah.
That's all. As a fan of Star Wars, I just want something new.
Yeah. And Mandalorian kind of started that, but it's also kind of
this last. I don't know if you saw the last episode, but it actually wasn't bad.
I'm 2 episodes behind, but I'll catch up with them this weekend probably. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot to explore in Star Wars, and they just haven't done that.
Yeah, it's a whole universe.
We've literally been fighting the same war for 9 movies.
Yeah, 42 years of it.
Yeah, just different sections at this point.
And I mean,
yeah.
if they do go back to the sky, like the only thing I want from it is a completely badass Vader movie. Just like they did with Rogue One, the last 5 minutes. Just give me that, just a whole movie of just whoop ass. But it probably won't happen.
Yeah,
and if it did happen, it probably wouldn't be good. So I'm going to bite my tongue while I'm here. So
yeah. But yeah, that's all I got to say about it. You got anything else to say?
No, I don't want to bash it too hard.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. We could tell people to not go see it, but people would still want to see it for themselves.
I'm not gonna stop people from seeing it. I don't want people to
even
not see
movies
it.
that we hate. People should make their own opinions about.
I bash a lot of movies. Like, I don't hold back, but I don't stop people from wanting. Like Suicide Squad. You like Suicide Squad? Go fucking see that movie. I think it's terrible.
It is terrible.
Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. I don't think it's a great movie. I don't think it's a terrible movie.
Yeah.
Go see it if you want. I just don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I agree with you. As always, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. On Facebook, Keystone Film Review. Instagram, Keystone_Film_Review. We have a website, KeystoneFilmReview.com. On Letterboxd, I am Mike KFR.
And I am Glen KFR.
And that will do it for this special bonus episode. I believe we're going to be releasing the real episode for Prospect tomorrow.
Yep.
So
may the
look out
Force
for that.
be with you.
And also with you. because church and stuff, I guess. Bye.
Bye.